everybody, and welcome back to my channel, Just Draw Something, where we learn to draw together. Alright guys, today we will be going over something very important to drawing faster and to drawing things without reference, and that is basic shapes. Basic shapes are one of the fundamentals of just being able to draw anything. Basic shapes make up everything. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I will be drawing on my iPad using Procreate. Remember, Procreate is not necessary to draw. You can use a pencil, paper. Don't forget to sketch lightly if you are using pencil and paper, or you can use Photoshop, Paint Tool, whatever you got. All right guys, so today we are going to go over the importance of shapes. So I thought I'd start out with a cube. So drawing a cube is pretty much the same. You got a box in the front, you got a box on the top, and a box on the right. And you're gonna go ahead and try to draw this in any angle that you can possibly draw it as. So that way we can familiarize ourselves with how the cube works in a 3D field. Now this is the most easy part. So if you want to draw it on a surface, just follow the diagonal lines like I circled there, so that way you can figure out where the table is going to be. So we're going to be using that a lot in all this video. We're going to be following that line to sort of set it on tables and whatnot. So what can we take from learning a cube? Like what does this do for us? By finding out how to draw a cube in a 3D space, we have learned to draw so many different things. Like, let's take a look at this. Like, we can draw a box. Like, it may be simple. It may be, you know, not that hard, but you can draw a box now. You can also draw other things that are square, which if you look at our life, there is a lot of things that are just based off of squares. So we'll go ahead and do a rectangle here. We know how to draw a rectangle because we did a cube. But now we can go ahead and add contour lines. So that way we can turn this into a dresser. So just in the few minutes you took to learn how to draw a cube, you now know how to draw a lot of things in a lot of different angles. Let's try a remote. It's just a rectangle with buttons. So you put it in a 3D space and you get to draw this remote with just buttons on it. So now you got a remote. And it was super easy. You just had to learn how to draw a 3D rectangle, which is based off of a cube. All right, let's go ahead and try to draw this dresser again. And let's go ahead and draw it at a different angle. Let's go ahead and try to draw this dresser looking up at it, like it was being lifted or hanging. We can go ahead and follow the lines, the left and right lines, to draw the legs, because they just go straight down. The legs go straight down and parallel to these lines. So there is not a lot of guesswork to try to draw this in perspective. So just follow your lines, your outlines. So let's go ahead and try to draw a TV. It's the same, or a monitor, whatever you feel like. It's essentially the same thing. It's a square with a rectangle for the stem and sort of a half triangle for the stand below. And then we're gonna go ahead and draw this at a different angle, and we're gonna use the same thing. We're gonna use a square or cube with another square, and then we're just going to use a circle as a base, or a oval. And then we're going to go ahead and follow the diagonal lines, which I marked right there, and draw a table. So what do we know about a table? It's a hollowed out cube. So you can do a whole bunch of things just by learning to draw a square. We'll go ahead and add a mouse, which is just an oval with 2 clickers and just a squiggly line. Now let's go ahead and draw a keyboard. What's a keyboard? A keyboard is just it's just a rectangle. So we'll go ahead and add the legs by following the lines. So remember that table just drops down the line straight down. So let's go ahead and do that again, but let's do it at a different angle. So we know how a cube It's just opposite. So let's follow the diagonal line, let's draw the table, let's draw the stems of the legs, and we're just gonna go ahead and keep on adding to our picture. So we have learned from drawing a cube that we can draw a table, we can draw a keyboard, we can draw a table with a keyboard rest. It's easy once you've learned how to draw something in 3D. All right, so take an oval for instance. You can draw an oval. So let's go ahead and draw an oval now. And then from here, it just looks like an oval, but if you shade the bottom of it, you've made an egg or a grape or an olive. Another fun thing to do is try to just add shapes and be like, what does an oval or a circle plus a triangle make? Or a circle plus a triangle plus a square? What do those make? And then see what you can make out of those. Now I chose this one because it's a little bit simple. We're gonna go ahead and start off with the triangle on top. Excuse me, I'm working on my my symmetry. So we're gonna try the triangle, the square, and the circle. Easy, right? We can make a lamp out of this. So we have this. We're just gonna go ahead and redefine it. We're gonna go ahead and cut off the top, and we're gonna go ahead and circle the bottom, or half circle the bottom, or half oval it. And then we're gonna go ahead and erase the lines. We're gonna go ahead and redefine the stem. And then we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of a base to this. And what do we have? We have a lamp out of basic shapes. So let's go ahead and put this a little bit into practice. So let's go ahead and start by drawing a line as our center and just trying to center everything. Let's go ahead and add a huge rectangle, so that way that can be the stem. And sorry as I try to work out some of the symmetry on here, however, we're gonna go ahead and draw some ovals in the middle, just adding shapes, just stacking shapes. Just keep on stacking shapes to define or add detail. Then we're gonna draw a triangle on the bottom, so that way we can add the base to where it's sitting. And then we're just gonna change the opacity down. Remember to sketch lightly if you're doing paper. And we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing we did for the first lamp. We're gonna go ahead and cut off pieces, round some pieces, and just sort of outline it without adding any of the circle details or the triangle or line rectangle details. This will give us a general outline of what we are trying to do. We're gonna go ahead and add a little pull string. And then now you see we have a lamp and it has 3 little balls on it and it has a base. So now what you can do with this is you can start by adding more details. And the more details you do draw, this lamp will become better and better and the drawing will look like a more flashy lamp. And you can practice this with many different shapes. You can make a vase out of a triangle and an oval. You can make a boot out of a cylinder and a cube. It's just endless because all objects are made out of some simple shape. And it's quite extraordinary because a lot of artists will use this and forget that this exists. And then they'll try to draw something and they'll say, oh, shoot, I should have probably found the basic shape first. So let's go ahead and try doing a cylinder. We'll do something like a simple glass, what is a simple glass or cylinder made out of? It is made out of 2 circles, usually the bottom circle is smaller, with the 2 outer edges of the circles connected. Sorry, trying to do some symmetry there, but that's not working. So you just drop the lines from each edge to it, and then you erase the inner line or the inner line where there's a circle on the bottom. And there, we have a cup. So what did we learn here by just drawing a cup? Well, we learned that it just takes 2 circles. So now we can draw different angles. So let's go ahead and try a different angle. Excuse me as I make this a little smaller or just clear it so that way I can draw a different angle of the cup. So let's draw a more extreme angle. When you're looking up at a cup, it's gonna be more circular than oval. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna draw more circular than oval circle type thing, and then you're going to go ahead and add a smaller circle for the bottom. Now, no matter where you add this circle, all you got to do is connect the edges. And now you have a cup at an extreme angle. Don't forget to erase the lines so that way the circle doesn't go all the way through the cup. Now, why is this also important? Well, it gives you perspective on how to draw other things. So if you see a glass, you can draw that. You can probably draw a can now at any angle. You can probably draw a tumbler cup. Now just remember that when you're drawing like a can, that there is a circle on the top, there's a circle just on the bottom, and then there's a circle like sort of on the center top. So breaking this all down, why this is so important is because when you draw things like humans, they are just a whole bunch of basic shapes. It's so important for character design and just drawing anything. A lot of the stuff in our world that we draw and use as humans is very non-organic, like as far as there's just squares and circles, very geometric shapes. But as you can see me drawing here, I am drawing cylinders for the arms. I drew a circle for the rib cage. I drew a square for the face, a triangle for the jaw, a circle for the skull. As you can see, basic shapes and building upon basic shapes will be the best thing you can do for moving forward in your art. Even if you look at the body structure and all that stuff, the pecs on a male are square, and for the women, there is, for their breast, it's literally a circle with a triangle on top, creating somewhat of like a tear droplet. But just remember that if you are an artist who is struggling, don't forget about basic shapes. They are the most important thing to remember when learning how to draw. That is the end of the video. Hopefully you learned something new. Just drawing basic shapes is more helpful than you can imagine. Looking at a photo, looking at a picture, or just looking at anything that is in front of you, you can break it down in your mind into basic shapes so that way you can draw. Viewing the world like this allows artists to pretty much recreate anything on paper or in digital art. Always feel free to leave feedback and critique in the comment section below. Go ahead and leave a comment of something that you would like to be drawn, and I will go ahead and learn how to draw it and teach you guys the process I learned to draw it. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. Have a great day, guys.